Probably agree that diplomacy, right, is about messaging, about signaling, and sometimes about optics as well. We had India, or Modi at least, giving a pass to SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Jaishankar went instead, but yet he shows up, visits Putin, and he hugs the guy. Was that necessarily, do you think, the right thing that he should have done? And what does that say?
Well, certainly from the U.S. audience, we'd like to see India starting to downplay the relationship with Russia a bit more. But, we do understand, again, when Modi's got to face his own voters before the international community first, cheap oil and things like that are important. But also, India is fighting an actual hot war with China along the border, potentially in the maritime domain. And whether we like it or not, because of long history and buying kit from Russia, India needs to continue at least bringing supplies and spare parts in. Otherwise, its military forces would begin to degrade pretty quickly. So the optics, yeah, a little stronger than we'd like, but I think there is an understanding. But again, as long as we keep seeing continued progress, a deeper partnership between India and the United States and military cooperation, economic cooperation, we're willing to let India, I think, go a little bit further with Russia without necessarily invoking sanctions, because that's always a potential threat overhead. So yeah, we like the optics dialed down a little bit, but overall, I don't think we're going to sacrifice the relationship because of it.
Rick, so where does that relationship go from here on the security front, right? It started with F-404 jet engines being allowed to be made in India, et cetera, servicing of U.S. naval vessels, et cetera. I mean, 10 years ago, this would have been basically unthinkable, right? Now we're there. Where does it go from here? How much more technology transfer or cooperation are you expecting on the security front?
I would say to some extent, the United States is willing to press the gas pedal and go as fast. India's temperature on allowing deeper defense ties is probably driven more by things that Beijing does. So you mentioned jet engines. This was the third time that we brought up potentially transferring technology for jet engines. We brought up a range of other areas. We're willing to actually help India defense manufacturing step up to global standards for key items like anti-tank missiles, things like that. Really, a lot of this never got yeses until you had this border conflict erupt, and suddenly the fight that India was concerned about becomes a very real thing. So I would say the pace is going to be determined by the pressure Beijing puts on Delhi, and then Delhi's kind of responsiveness to U.S. outreach. So, I think that seeing India take command of one of the task forces of Combined Maritime Force Bahrain is a reasonable step that I think may take place. Apart from GE 404 engines, there's a couple of other tech areas where it looks like you'll have advanced U.S. technology transfer. But we do like to see occasional U.S. wins as well for selling major kit. And selling armed drones has been overhead for quite some time, but we haven't got the deal finalized. So a few more sales, more work that we can do at Combined Maritime Force Bahrain. And then, of course, we should have a Quad Leader Summit coming up as well, which has really been a great opportunity to try to deepen a wider relationship as well.